Hey guys, SaxDude26 here and welcome to my next Let's Play, Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure, obviously for the Game Boy Advance. This here is a game I've been meaning to Let's Play for quite some time now, and considering I've been meaning to get into the Dragon Ball Z series, or just the Dragon Ball series in general on the Let's Play channel, what a great way to start off. And considering previous Let's Play I did was of Wily Wars and that had Buster Rod Goku in it, kind of seems like a fitting segue, wouldn't you say? So let's get started. For those of you who know anything about Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, it's the same general shtick. It's the same idea, just a little condensed and adapted to fit in the space of the game. I'm not going to be reading the text because I tried doing that in the previous recording and it was abysmal. Because I cannot voice act Master Roshi for goodness knows what without sounding completely ridiculous and or creepy. But then again, that's kind of part of his character trait, so what am I really saying there? Anyways, the usual thing. It explains the main plot of how the anime started off for the original Dragon Ball. Bulma met Goku. Goku discovered more about the Dragon Balls, that there was more than just the one that he had that his grandfather left him. And so Bulma and Goku travel together using the Dragon Radar to go off and look for the other Dragon Balls. And thus, the game begins! And this is very different to any other game I've Let's Played because it is a scrolling beat-em-up. Those of you who know me know that I absolutely suck at fighting games to the point that I rarely ever play them. This game, however, both for the subject material and for the fact that it's really fun and I can actually get into it, is the exception, most definitely. But like any other beat-em-up, simple controls. B button to attack, depending on what direction you push, you will attack differently. A button to jump, you can attack in mid-air, left and right to run. And L button to use special attacks, which uses up your energy meter on the bottom left. And we're destroying dinosaurs in a futuristic world. I love Dragon Ball, it's awesome. Oh boy, it has been too long. Golly, I really need to sit down and watch all of Dragon Ball because I really... I've watched all of Dragon Ball Z, but I have not watched all of the original prequel. Or read all of it, come to think of it. But I have played through this whole game, so I have a general idea of what happens on the major plot point side, save for the last arc. Which I found clips of on YouTube, so that's close enough, right? I'm getting on it. So yeah, basic beat-em-up setup for the most part. Head from left to right to get to the end of the level, bashing up enemies on the way, and in the case of this game, also collecting items, obviously, as we go. But only in areas like this where an exclamation mark comes up before fighting starts is it actually compulsory to kill all of the enemies before you progress on. You can actually just forget about the rest of them. Power pole! Extend! There we go. I never really understood why Goku got rid of his power pole in Dragon Ball Z. Probably due to the fact that revolved a whole lot more around using energy than melee, to be honest. But hey, happy to have it here. Definitely makes things much easier. And that door is locked, meaning we can't get through it in this mode. That's what the bonus content's for, right? Anyway, continuing on, beating up pterodactyls and bear thieves as we go. More here? Yep. Okay. I've never been able to work out how to trigger that grab properly. I think it might just be me, but I think it actually wants you to do the overhead swing and then attack them from the ground, because I feel like I've been able to trigger it before, but that's the only way I've been able to do it consistently. Okay. Keep going. Should theoretically be the last area of this forest. See pterodactyl. More enemies. And I love that special attack. The ones we get later on are really good as well, but they're just crowd clearing. That one's really good, just swinging the power pole above his head. Through here should be our first capsule item. which is the Dragon Radar. The items are shown in the menu here, which we can get to by pushing select. Some of them have effects on whether or not you can find others, the Dragon Radar hilariously being one of them. And some other ones actually affect the way that the gameplay goes or which items you can find, but for the most part they're just collectibles for the sake of 100%ing the game. It's nice because they also reference a lot of characters that have been omitted from this game that were in the anime as well, simply because it was more convenient to the plot or that they didn't really have any significance to anything. Which is nice, it means they made reference to the whole continuity, rather than just the condensed one they made for the game. Which is good, I like it. Okay, more apples. There we go. Gosh, these bear thieves are... No, they're boars. I don't think they were bears. Jeez, bears don't have tusks. What's wrong with me? Reading the FAQ, getting ready for the LP, and just completely fluffing everything up. And hey, it's Turtle! And he's being attacked by a giant Kuma mercenary. What are you doing here? You're meant to be in Legacy of Goku 2. Get out of here. We're not giving him over to the likes of you! So here is our first boss, the King of the Kuma mercenaries. Basically, keep your distance, and don't attack when he's guarding. Otherwise that means you can't hurt him when he's executing attacks. Or if you jump face first into his sword. That's what I'm talking about. Unblockable attacks. If they start glowing, you can't hit them when they're attacking. Nevertheless, that's the first level done. Fantastic. And so we go back with Turtle to Kame House. And then we meet Master Roshi, whose voice I am not going to be doing because, well, you'll see it in the blooper episode, because that was ghastly. Oh, good grief. I had this idea in my head where I was going to do voices and read all of the text, and it was a horrible idea. Anyway, Goku's iconic Nimbus Cloud. Fantastic. Harkening back to Journey to the West. Lovely. Journey from the West to it. Sweet. Extra Dragon Ball and the Flying Nimbus. Which is pretty much essential for the next level. Which is the Oolong Village. Well, Oolong's village nevertheless, but he's being a tyrant there, so can't really call it his, can we? The village wants us to get rid of him in exchange for their Dragon Ball. And then it turns out that he's just a transforming pig. Although he rarely ever transforms past Dragon Ball, so here he's kind of threatening-ish. As much as someone who runs away can be. And so, time to go on the Flying Nimbus. Going to get you bat form Oolong. Yes, so Oolong has transformed into a bat that can hilariously still transform as it is, and we're fighting him on the Flying Nimbus. Or being attacked by pterodactyls that are just here for the sake of it. And I can't punch! Attack Oolong. I love the soundtrack in this game. It's funny, the Japanese version actually has some tracks from the anime, though I can understand they probably didn't put them in the English release because of copyrights. That happens way too much. There we go. And now he's transformed into a missile. Because that makes complete and total sense. Ow. I could have tried dodging. That would have been brilliant. Uh-oh. There we go. Gotcha. And so Oolong turns back to normal and falls! And thus we've beaten him. Fantastic. Please forgive... Jeez, want to make the segue from Wily Wars into Dragon Ball any more obvious, Oolong? Good grief. What a good game to follow it up with, then. But for beating Oolong, he's now pretty much following us around, you know, of his own choice. But we also got another Dragon Ball. Fantastic. Off to the next level. Well-ish, sort of, because there's not really a level attached to it. It's just the wilderness. And who's in the wilderness? Oh, the character from this series who probably gets the worst rap of them all. Yamcha, Hyena of the Wilderness. I honestly don't remember him taking that title in the anime, but okay, if the game says so, must have happened. Right? Though Goku really doesn't care about fighting him, he really is just hungry. It's a pretty decent competition. And Flying Cat here, Pua, coming around with him. But like Oolong can actually use metamorphosis and transform and such. His only real purpose in this battle is just to drop bombs on us, which we can actually kick back at Yamcha. He stops using the Wolf Fang Fist. He's really in the mood to use his signature move, isn't he? Or the bazooka. Upward kick. There we go. Using the upward kick's good because then you can fling projectiles back at enemies. Same with if you use the power ball upwards if they're just pellets, but only certain things can be knocked back with each one respectively. And I'm really not keeping my wits about me space-wise. Well, and I just copped a Wolf Fang Fist to the face. Was cheering him on. Good grief. Bad key. Ow. No. I'm not losing to Yamcha. There we go. Fantastic. That was an awkward close call there, but nevertheless we're done. That was just dull. He ran away. And Bulma's in a bunny costume. What? It's probably explained in the anime. Can't remember why, but yeah, she's in a bunny costume and Oolong's still with us because he still really doesn't want to be there. As far as he's concerned, he's still a bad guy. Anyways, off to Fire Mountain, where the ferocious Ox King lives, but his daughter does not live there because she's not important enough to the plot to even be in this game. Because his daughter Chi-Chi's significance is only really to the last arc of Dragon Ball, so she's not in the game at all. Which is a bit unfair, but... First Kamehameha of the game! And we didn't use it. Master Roshi did to put out Fire Mountain, so now it's just... Mountain. Master Roshi took 50 years to master the Kamehameha. We're learning how to use Ki right now. Bulma, why are you in the bunny costume? So, basically now we have the ability to store up energy or Ki, and then release it as a solid focused blast. We can hold down the R button to use it, using the L button which you use for special attacks to slide around while doing this, which has its uses later on, but if we release the R button, we can fire off an energy blast. So, we can now use energy. And yes, Master Roshi realizes that we were indeed raised by Grandpa Gohan. And other stuff pertaining to the backstory, I'm really not doing this justice, but there is so much dialogue to read, and I tried reading it and it went horribly wrong, I assure you. You'll see in the bloopers. But the next level is pretty darn long, so in the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball, we'll be heading off to Pilaf's castle. Until then, this has been Saxdude26, and I will see you next time.